Welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're new to my channel, I'm AspieAnswersAll, or as I'm known for many of you, I'm Aspie, and I'm all about creating mental health and awareness versus sharing my life story and journey with Aspergers Syndrome, OCD, depression and the like, so that you can get the lowdown of getting to know me as a person as a whole underneath the mask of every diagnosis that I share with you all. I also share some motivational videos now and again just to hopefully enlighten you guys and encourage you guys in your time of day, and hopefully with those and the food, the pills of wisdom and knowledge that some of this will actually be of use and value to you. And all further ado, also pretty much regardless of it all, I create mental health and awareness series versus also sharing some tips and advice based on some everyday struggles that we may go through, so that some of the tips and advice that I share is based on my life everyday experiences, as well as just the training that I used to do in the past of youth line training, and hopefully some of those tips and advice will be of value use to you regardless, and I'm hoping some of that information I'm giving out to you will be of use to you. If it's not feeling it's not for you, and that's fine, just try and maybe respect what I have to share with you all, because you never know, there are some people out there that are struggling and maybe looking for answers just like you are, so you must have landed on my page for a particular reason here today. So not further ado, at this point of time, I'm doing the ADHD end series right now to hopefully tidy up the loose ends there. As I am saying before, also with these Aspergers end series that I was sharing, that there are plenty more to share about what I've got listed to research and share with you all, as well as just maybe some of my little life stories or experience, knowledge, know-how of what is to come. But in all further ado, also, like I'm hoping in the near future that I'll be doing more in a way of maybe some tag videos and some fun activities along the way, once I hopefully be able to find some people I can connect with and actually maybe do some collabs with them. As you know that, it's all about connecting with one another, and obviously, being able to get to know one another, knowing what you guys like and don't like, hopefully. So that's why proper engagement here, be it commenting or what have you, because I'm just going by, ear at the moment of just the analytics of what you guys want to see on my channel based on the everyday topics I share, regardless what it may be, even though, some of it is already there and hopefully some of it has been of value and use to you. So no further ado, guys, before I run out of time, I've started the series of ADHD and series again, obviously just to try and tidy up. The last one was obviously ADHD and friendships. This one's going to be ADHD and sleep and kids, but some of the tips and advice that I'm going to share with you all on this one should be able to relate for us adults as well, even though 9 times out of 10 some of these tips and advice that I may give out to you may not work for you, but bear in mind that maybe you can just do it step by step anyway of some of the tips that are given to you. If it doesn't work solely or what have you to you, you are entitled for a second opinion or advice from your medical professional team. So no further ado, guys, let's begin this before I run out of time. As we know though, however, kids are less likely to fall asleep quickly and stay in bed all night, these kids with ADHD, because as we know, or as the question arises, what is this? It's like us with Aspergers Syndrome. Many of the same regions of the brain regulate both attention and sleep, as well as, thinking processes also sometimes are still going on 90 miles a minute in our mind. Sometimes it's hard to wind down, but obviously we can't change the child's ADHD or anyone's ADHD for that matter, but we can actually find a way that basically to help make the child sleep better and basically have a certain routine maybe. We know that sometimes that's, regardless of all, it can be really frustrating for parents, especially if they've got basically, a kid with ADHD and they try their hardest to do whatever they can. But tip number 1 is on this is sleep deprivation may have a huge impact onto why the child or yourself isn't sleeping. As we know, it does make it irritable pretty much for parents that does have sleep deprivation, and then it leads to the point that become impatient and less efficient at everything that we do in our everyday tasks that we do in our lives, regardless what it may be, be it, if we are a busy mom, looking after our kids, and then we tend to take them out to places and whatnot, versus, maybe once in a while that we have a job and we balance up a lot. Adults who haven't got a good night's sleep, however, are more likely to miss work. Research has shown, though, which is no brainer, that not getting enough rest for the people with ADD and ADHD can worsen the symptoms, leading to less loss of emotional control. It can also adversely affect the working memory, a problem many of the children will suffer, as well as maybe adults alike. The attention-sleep connection. What I mean here, there's a biological reason why children with ADHD tend to sleep less. Many of the same regions of the brain regulate both attention and sleep, as I've just mentioned earlier in the introduction. A child who has attention problems, however, is likely to have sleep problems, as well as you can't change your child's biology. But there are some friendly strategies for people with ADD or ADHD to help the kids overcome their sleep problems. And this is what I'm here for today, to try and address this to you, that you can try this yourself. Okay, number one, many people make the mistake is, sleeping pills. So tip number one will be avoid the sleeping pills. Most sleep medications that work well for adults may not be adequately tested for their safety and effectiveness in certain children. Okay, especially for children with ADHD, however. That goes for the over-the-counter sleep aid melatonin, as well as prescription sleeping pills. Basically, as we know, doctors sometimes prescribe clonidine for ADD children who have trouble falling asleep. The drug does make it easier to fall asleep, but many kids who take it awaken around 2 o'clock next morning and will just do their everyday routine of maybe damaging things along the way if they're so ruthless. Okay, obviously tip number 2, exercise. As we know, exercise is an important structure of our everyday lifestyle, so making sure that we have that 30 minutes aside for exercise. We can have children, especially with ADHD, to maybe exercise, jog, jump rope, ride a bike, walk with your dog, or what have you. As we know, physical activity will help our bodies to make the transition between each different phases of the sleep. Also, since exercise places physical stress on the body, the brain increases the time a child spends in a deep sleep. Tip number 3 is set a realistic bedtime and stick to it. Many people, accept the fact that the child with ADD or ADHD may need less sleep than others in their age group. If you put him to bed too early, there's a chance that he'll just lie there wide awake, becoming increasingly anxious. Whatever bedtime you establish, though, however, enforce it constantly on weekends as well as during the week. Letting your child stay up late on Friday and Saturday nights will disrupt that circadian clock cycle that we have. Come around Monday morning, however, he'll likely to basically wake up with something akin to his jet lag. Number 5, I think I'm up to, is nighttime rituals. As we know, sometimes with evening rituals can send the brain and body to slow down, regardless what we want to do. So the hour also leading up to their bedtime basically should be divided to something that they enjoy doing, maybe to burn off that extra energy, be it listening to music, reading, or some other calm, relaxing activity. It has to be calm, don't be on mind. Violent TV programs and video games should be strictly off limits at this time. No rough housing either. Tell away the bedtime story to a younger child. Allow the other children to read in bed. Be sure your child has their favourite blanket or stuffed animal so that they're finding comfort. Others may prefer, especially older children, may prefer to cuddle with a squishy soft pillow. Tip number 6 is basically eat and drink right for the good night's sleep. Avoid eating and snacking 2-3 hours before bedtime. Digestion, especially of foods containing caffeine or high sugar, basically can keep your child up. If you insist on snacking, give them a warm milk. Saltiness or a little turkey, which has the natural sleep-inducing chemical tryptophan. Child should drink enough water during the day, preventing us asking for a glass of water at bedtime and a subsequent bathroom break later on. Number 7, keep the room dark. No-brainer. This is like for most of us. In addition to cueing the child that it's time to go to sleep, darkness eliminates the visual distractions that keeps them from falling asleep. If a child can't see their toys, they're less likely to get out of bed to play with them. What if your child is afraid of the dark and needs a light on to fall asleep? You ask. that's alright. Make sure maybe that the light is dim low, however, and goes off once the child falls asleep. Use a time if need be, or instant touch light or something. Choose a clock with a face that lights up when a button is pressed. Reduce light from windows by putting up blackout curtains if need be. Tip number 9. Look into relaxation routines. Deep breathing or listening to soothing music can make it easier to fall asleep. A foot rub or back rub relaxes a restless child. Have your child focus on breathing while visualizing an elevator gently ascending and descending with every inhalation and exhalation. Consider an evening prayer if need be. Number 10. Dress for comfort. Chilly feet keeps most children awake. Wearing socks may send them to dreamland. Remove any squishy tags from their pyjamas. Don't combine flannel pyjamas and flannel sheets. The fabrics may stick together and make it difficult to turn over in bed. If the room is warm, or cotton sleepwear can prevent sweating and tossing. Air conditioning or flame or cut out the room. And the whirring sound of the fan blades is calming for the child with ADHD. Okay, tip number 11 or 12, refusing to go to bed. As we know, some ADHD children, especially those with oppositional, defiant or anxiety disorder, will do anything to avoid sleeping. Try some behavioural method approach of the intervention. Give strict orders to your child to stay in the bed between 7 hours. Sit outside their door and calmly tuck them into bed if they get up. After a few nights, you'll no longer have to sit diligently outside. Don't attempt this unless you have the resolvement to follow it through. If you allow your child to break the rules even once, you have sunk the anchor and actually let them win. It's all about, in that one, when it comes down to that kind of behaviour intervention plan, just stick with it, and obviously positive reinforcement, and maybe with that positive reinforcement comes rewards. Take action. Dealing with children that has ADD with their sleep problems isn't easy, but it's worth the effort. Give the consequences of chronic sleep problems for the entire family. It's best to act sooner rather than later, as they say. Basically, that ends the topic of ADHD and sleep. Give me the like for thumbs up for engagement and support. Comment below if I've missed out any tips that may be of value and use to others that suffers ADHD, so that many people will hopefully go about it. So I challenge the ones that may have been watching that has ADHD, maybe just to put in some things that has worked for them, so that maybe some of others that may suffer from this similar experience that will be of value and use to you. Because as I said before, many people have their different ways of managing everything in their everyday life, so it's all about hopefully inclusion and engagement here. That's what I'm here for. So feel free to follow me on Twitter and Facebook, AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to please subscribe to my channel. Feel free to basically message me on my YouTube channel if need be. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and share my videos around. And no more further ado, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you all again soon.